So good morning, everyone. Hope you're well. So welcome to this hackathon organized by IEEE GRSS Bangalore Section. Thank you all for joining. So this is a 3-day event, and the first day is planned sessions. So you will be having sessions on QGIS, Earth Engine, and Python, so that you get familiar with these tools. Even if you are familiar, I think you'll take some lessons from this because it will be useful for hackathon. And the second day you'll be participating in the hackathon for the whole day. Third day you'll be getting the results. So to begin with, just few logistics. So this meeting will go on till 4:30, and the the session is as given in the schedule that you have received on WhatsApp and Slack messages. So we'll start with Professor Jaya, who is the chair of IEEE GRSS Bangalore, who will introduce about the chapter and also about the hackathon in brief. So, ma'am, if you're ready, I think we can start with the presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Aman. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jaya. I'm the chair of IEEE GRSS Bangalore Section, and I'm making this presentation on behalf of the slate. That is the office bearers of. These are the office bearers of the chapter. Yeah. So without much ado, I'll get started. So I have only a 2-point agenda. I want to briefly talk about the society chapter, and which includes today's some details and background about today's events. And I would like to use this opportunity to promote the conference that we are organizing at the end of the year as well. Um, the chapter was started in on December 24th, 2012, and Professor B.S. Dayasagar of ISI Bangalore that's the Indian Statistical Institute Bangalore was the founding chair. And it was largely motivated by the IEEE GRS's distinguished lectures. Now, GRSS expands to for the uninitiated geoscience and remote sensing society. So this is a technical society that comes under IEEE, and it is for promoting all events, research, technical awareness, mentoring, all of them under the for the topics under geoscience and remote sensing. We celebrated our 10th anniversary very recently, right? So this is these are the office bearers. So I'm the chair, Professor Shyamlal from NIT Surathkal is the vice chair. Gurudatta with Veritas is the secretary. Nagjoti with NRSC ISRO is the treasurer. And Basavaraju, who's a PhD scholar at NIT Surathkal, is the young professionals representative. I'm with IIIT Bangalore. So we are the office bearers since January 2021, and this slate will be stepping down by the end of this year. Professor Dayasagar is the advisor. He is the founding chair. Professor Saroj Meher is also with ISI Bangalore, and he was the last chair, and he is continuing to be the chapter advisor. Professor Nagesh Kumar is a professor at IISc Bangalore, and he is also the current advisor. So the chapter itself, for those of you who do not know, it comes under the Global GRSS Society, and we fall under the IEEE Bangalore section. That is a regional section that we come under. IEEE Bangalore section is pretty big, and it includes several other societies, and it has its own set of student chapters, and so on and so forth, and it's highly active. If for those of you who don't know, there's this flagship conference, IEEE Connect, that is going to happen pretty soon. We fall under the IEEE Region 10, that's the Asia Pacific region. And so we time and again work with these different outfits to carry on our activities. So this is the entire Execomm, and so we just mentioned about the office bearers. we have student representatives, Rahisha Totolil and Sai Charan, Babita. Uh, we have the other Execomm members and Professor Chandan and Aman and Santosh, who are all organizing these events, are also part of the Execomm. Okay, so our membership has increased from 37 in 2020. From then, when we took over, it went to 59 and it's 75 in the beginning of 2022. The membership gender ratio has also improved over time. And this is the logistics we had in early April. So there is a slight dip in the membership. We went down to 65 by early April, and we have a healthy division of members in across different say seniority or professional levels. And there are several other technology focus areas where all the members are comfortable with, even under the ambit of geoscience and remote sensing. Right. So this is just a gist of events that we have been conducting throughout the year, last year. So this is our report for last year. So we do have a set of talks which are called the Bhumantal Talk series. This is a public talk series, which is a set of invited talks by experts, subject matter experts, to educate, enthuse, and inspire citizens all about all aspects of geoscience and remote sensing. And we do have our YouTube channel for the same. So I'll just put the link in the chat for those of you who would like to check it out. We have been using this to uh, largely promote and educate about even general topics and about all the research that is happening within the country. Right. So, briefly, we had last year we had two Bhumantal talk series talks by Professor Shamita, who talked a little bit about the geospatial technologies and sustainable development goals, which is also something that we are promoting through this hackathon. Professor Vijayan K. Asari from USA, he gave a talk on LiDAR point clouds. Then we had student paper presentations and Mapathon last year. So we will have many of these events this year as well. So this is a snapshot of last year, which is going to repeat more or less this year as well. IEEE Connect, as I mentioned, is the flagship conference of IEEE Bangalore section, of which IEEE GRSS is our chapter. We play a key role in it. We conduct our own track, special track in geoscience and remote sensing. A similar track is there this year as well. So please look forward to that. We had a 5-day online summer workshop. This is the second in the series of the summer workshops that we have been running. We'll have a similar one this year as well. The focus of these workshops are on machine learning and deep learning for remote sensing applications, and we largely target the students and young professionals and research and academia for these summer workshops. We inaugurated one student chapter last year, which is the MIT Manipal one. This is the second student chapter that we have. The first one was with NIT Suratkal, which we inaugurated in 2021. We participated in a hackathon, Mapathon, which had a geovisualization track. This is with the IEEE Council. Then Aman, Santosh, and others are also, they are active in Let's Talk Spatial Meetup group. So we collaborated and we had a Let's Talk Spatial Meetup event jointly. Sorry, this one was, sorry, my bad. This one was where our secretary presented awareness talk about IEEE GRSS. The joint event came later in October, right? And then we had Gurudatta again giving a talk at a VMS college function. And the last one we had was the SAR data. We had a winter workshop. Again, this is a follow-up to the summer workshop that we had. Then we finally concluded all the events last year with two more Fundamental talks, and this was given by uh, Mr. Ishan Kochar, Blue Sky Analytics. He talked about empowering decision making with satellite powered climate and environmental intelligence. And the final one was Mr. Amrit Kiran from IIHS. He gave a talk on building the India data grid. So this is sort of the brief overview of the events, also to inform that these are the kind of events that we have. The idea is to have a mix of events that are interesting for students and young professionals largely. We have in the past had also STEM events, which is of interest for high school students. Last year we did not have any STEM events, but this year we are planning a few. So these are sort of the set of events that repeat year after year. So we have student events, summer winter workshops, schools talk series, and conferences or workshops. And particularly this year, we are organizing the INGARS 2023, which is the flagship GRSS regional conference, and which is supported by the GRSS Global itself. So the activities we have completed so far is we were key partners in organizing machine intelligence for geoanalytics and remote sensing, MIGARS 2023. This is a conference that was held in Hyderabad. Several of our Execomm members played a key role in the organizing committee, and we also sponsored several of our students to attend the conference. RARSA 2023 is an online one-day workshop that we had on recent algorithms for remote sensing in agriculture. This was on March 31st. This was co-organized by the GRSS Bangalore Section and the NITK student chapter. So the activities in progress, as you are all here, we have the hackathon ongoing. This is part of the best local YP activity contest, which was conducted by the IEEE GRSS Global. So several chapters all over the world put their proposals together, where we also submitted. So so for the uninitiated, this is part of a larger event. What we are having today. This was conducted as a YP activity contest towards the end of last year, and the idea was to give ideas on what we can conduct for this year, right? So the goal of this challenge is to implement new initiatives, programs, and activities at a local level, which are meant to engage the local young professional uh, community. The events or programs can be either technical or non-technical in nature. So we applied for this. We put in a proposal to conduct this event in lines of the sustainable goal development goals. And this got selected amongst very few chapters who have won this challenge to conduct this event. So we have been allocated $1,000 to conduct this event. So we are doing 2 rounds of it. Today's is the first round. We'll have a similar round upcoming sometime soon, probably in the month of May or latest by June. And the idea is that the Execomm helps in organizing this particular event. So today's session is organized by Dr. Chandan, Aman, Sai Charan, Santosh, Rahisha. They are all there in the meeting already. So happy to have you all for this event, and this is going to be quite a big one because this is part of the global event indirectly, right? So we have a few upcoming events in the second quarter. So we have a couple of Pumandal talks coming up in the May-June timeframe. So stay tuned for that as well. And we have a summer school again coming up in the June-July timeframe. So initiatives, again, as a slate, we have tried to have a series of events in addition to the summer, the workshops that used to happen under the leadership of the previous slates. So since the pandemic, we could also start a whole bunch of online series, and henceforth we have continued the tradition, over the years. So we have summer and winter workshops, as we have already mentioned, and these are on the recent algorithm series. So they are around machine learning, deep learning, etc., but with different focus areas in different years. So we have started the Bhumandal talk series. We have around 15 talks now, and they are all on the YouTube channel, and they are quite well viewed. So please take a look at them. We continue to also do the distinguished lecture series. The last 2 years, we have had a couple of distinguished lecture series, which we also collaborated with other chapters in the country, like Hyderabad chapter and so on, to conduct those events. We have student chapters at NITK and MIT Manipal. NIE Mysuru has been applied, and we are waiting for the sanctions and so on and so forth. We have several collaborations with the, as I mentioned, the STEM events were with the Institute of Geographical Studies. And we have ongoing collaborations with Let's Talk Spatial Meetup Group as well. This is a meetup group in Bangalore that focuses on engaging folks from industry, students, etc., in geospatial and other spatial algorithms and methodologies and all of that. So they do have meetups once a month in different parts of Bangalore. So stay tuned for their updates as well. In terms of GRSS conference organization, the chapter has been very active. We bid for the GRSS flagship global international conference, IGARS 2025, and we unfortunately lost in the last round to Australia. So we are going to bid again in IGARS 2028, and this is an initiative that several chapters in India, GRSS chapters in India, try to do. So we do it as a collaborative effort. So we will be pitching for IGARS 2028 because it comes back to the region 10 in 3 years. So the conference is organized in different regions, and it rotates between US, Europe, and the Asia Pacific. And so our next turn will be for 2028. So we'll soon be bidding for that. The chapter itself is hosting and organizing the GRSS Regional Conference, which is the India Geoscience and Remote Sensing Symposium 2023. So I'll give you a talk about a brief overview about that. We are always looking to expand the executive committee as well. So we encourage those of you who are interested in being part of this society to be part of the chapter itself and get active, and so that you can also be part of the Execomm as you go along. So with that, I give a very brief overview of what the chapter is and the activities are and what our focus areas are, and how we go about doing it. Again, it is the efforts of several people, the volunteering that they do and the community service that they put in. So we are very thankful for having so many enthusiastic people around. So the next one that I would like to talk about is the GRSS Regional Conference in GRSS 2023. So this is about the conference, the 2023 IEEE India Geoscience and Remote Sensing Conference. INGARS is an IEEE conference, and it comes under the ambit of GRSS Global. So it is a flagship regional conference, and it is conducted in India. So it's a regional conference of India. This is the third in the series. It is aimed at providing a professional platform for learning, sharing knowledge and experience on recent developments and advancements in geoscience and remote sensing technologies, particularly in the context of Earth observation, disaster monitoring, and risk assessment, especially as relevant to the Indian subcontinent. What I'd like to mention here is also the community in geospatial, geoscience, etc., are gaining a lot of momentum, given that there's a national geoscience policy, geospatial data policy that has been put out since last year. And so there's lot of push to share open data sets and do a lot of interesting work that benefits the entire country, and in that context, the entire subcontinent. So the third edition is coming to Bangalore, which is pretty good. And again, we want to capitalize the characteristics of Bangalore for this conference. So we want to bring together academia, research, industry, government, non-governmental organizations, think tanks, because that is what Bangalore is for, where everything comes together, right? So we want the conference also to reflect that ethos of the city in the conference. So it plays a critical role in socio-economic landscape of the state, the country, and the world. So we want the conference also to reflect those things. So in early 2021, this was decided in the IEEE GRSS chapters chair of all the regional chapters in India, and that Bangalore would be hosting it, and the decision was passed. And so the conference itself, as I mentioned, started in 2020. It was not organized in 2022 because the GRSS international conference, the global conference, came to IEEE Region 10, so it was not organized that year. And this year we are organizing, and the venue is going to be IIIT Bangalore, that is the International Institute of Information Technology Bangalore, which is an electronic city, for those of you who know Bangalore quite well. So the conference will be conducted in Bangalore, given the better connectivity that we have in the state, and we will be hosting it at IIIT Bangalore. The conference will run for 4 days, and we are INGARS follows the same pattern as what IGARS does. So we have a similar pattern. So we have 4 days of conference. There will be one pre-conference days with very interesting tutorials. And we'll have half a day of the inauguration ceremony, half a day of closing ceremony. We'll have events which are around young professionals, women in engineering, diversity, inclusion, and equity. We'll have events on social entrepreneurship related to SDGs and geospatial technologies. So for those of you who are interested in these types of events, so this is all in addition to the research track, the regular one where you can publish papers and they will get accepted in IEEE Explore. And so the proceedings will come into IEEE Explore, right? So again, as I mentioned, there's a special focus on collaborations and social entrepreneurship, DEI, etc., which are again something that as a novelty for this conference in this edition, we want to introduce. So the general chairs are, I am one of them. The others are Professor Dayasagar at Indian Statistical Institute, Bangalore campus, and Professor Abik Bhattacharya from IIT Bombay. We are the organizing society, and the dates are December 10 to 13, 2023. We are expecting a lot of papers, so we encourage all those of you who are working in research to submit your papers. We are also expecting a lot of participants, so please feel free to check out the conference as it matures. Currently, the call for papers is out, the call for doctoral colloquium is out, and so on and so forth. So you can check them out. The call for tutorials and invited special sessions are also out. These are the brief links and other tidbits about the conference that you can check out. This is the organizing committee. We are proud to present this a vibrant committee. All of them are working very hard on various aspects of the conference. A lot of work is going on in the background. So we welcome you to, if any of these names sound familiar to you, please reach out to them and they'll tell you more about the conference. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you all at INGARS if that is of interest to you. But for today, have a very good session at the hackathon, and I'll hand over the stage to Aman and Chandan. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for the brief and I also encourage everyone to join IEEE GRSS Bangalore section if you're here, or any other section wherever you are. This has helped me connect with many folks. So even you will get chance to connect with and organize these kind of events. So thank you so much. And also for INGARS, which I'm also part of the organizing team. So if you have any research or any work that you would like to share and get published, you can register for INGARS. Go to the website ingars.org, and you can find more information there. So to move on, I think what we'll do now is so there are a few other things that I wanted to mention, which is that because if we're given so every team member should be registered for the event. So if you are a team of three, all three should be registered in the form, or else you can only participate in the two. So if only two have registered, only those are eligible to participate. That is one thing. Another is, so we are sharing a GitHub link right away. So you need to be part of that to submit your submit your solutions, problem statements. So to do that, I would require your email address, which is the team head. Only the team head should have one email address, and I'll share a form so that you can just write your email address in that. The team lead can just write their email address, but that is after this session, while this session goes on. And also, it's just a humble request that please do not leave this meeting in between. We'll have a break after say 2 hours, not 2 hours. I think less than that, because the second session will be quite less. So we'll have break. We'll have about 1.5 hour of break in between for lunch, and then again we'll continue. Because why I'm saying to not leave is because there is important information about the hackathon that you would, that maybe it is not written on the page and only shared here. So that is why please stay tuned for what is coming up next. So to continue, I would request Rahisha to start with QGIS. So the format now is we'll have QGIS first, then there is GitHub, and then there is Earth Engine. So GitHub will take only a few minutes just to explain how to submit the process, and then there is QGIS and Earth Engine for the first half, and GeoPython for the second half. So hope you enjoy. And now I hand it over to Rahisha and Dr. Chandar, if you have anything to add, or else we can start with Rahisha if she's online.
Yeah, good morning to all the participants. I hope you all had a very good introduction session by Professor Jaya. And today there are going to be 4 or 5 sessions, technical sessions, wherein you'll be exposed to the geospatial techniques and analysis, starting from the basics, starting from the scratch. So I request all the participants to make use of this session, and this would be very helpful for the next one day for the hackathon. And of course, this is an important step in your career also, I believe, because once you get through these kind of sessions and hackathons, you will be eventually exposed to the academics, and also you will be exposed to the industry. So please try to be in touch with all of us. And if you have any queries in between, we are available. So I wish you best of luck for the event. Okay. I now request Ms. Raisha to take over the session. And Aman, thanks for the great job that you have been doing today. So we'll just meet after this session. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So hope you are enjoying the session, and you're very eager to see what is the problem statement and how the hackathon will be. So for my responsibility is that make sure that how the QGIS will work, and you can make utilize this open source software for your hackathon if you want to develop some kind of maps and all. Let me share my screen first. So I hope my screen is visible. Can anyone confirm?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So the fundamental, because this is 1 hour session, right? That's the introduction to QGIS. So those who are already working in QGIS, it will be little bit fundamental things, but at least I will cover those who are very beginner. So it will be easy once you are being there in this session for an hour. So it will be very easy for you to at least start with QGIS. Yeah? The fundamental goal is that understanding how the spatial analysis and how we can make a map through QGIS. Okay, the content will be a basic understanding of GIS, how the spatial data format will be there, and QGIS. There are many softwares available to do any kind of a geospatial analysis. Here I'll be focused only on QGIS. Okay, so what is GIS? As you all are from a GIS or a geospatial background, it will be repetition, right? You know that the biggest difference from the normal project or a geospatial project is that we have to handle a lot of geospatial data. How the geospatial data are different from others? We are handling location information. That is nothing but lat-long informations. If we have a lat-long location information attached with any kind of a data, we call it as a spatial data. Okay, so why QGIS, and Gary Sherman is the founder of QGIS, and he developed in 2002, and initial version started in 2009. And the advantages is that every 3 months within 2 to 3 months, they are releasing new versions with a lot of updates. Okay. And why we are looking QGIS here? Because it is completely open source, and any kind of operating system you can work on. If you are Windows or Linux, Mac, or any kind of operating system, it is supportive. And if you are a very beginner in geospatial analysis, we have a very responsive and enthusiastic community. That means if you stuck anywhere, we have a very huge community to help you. Like it means that maybe the problem what you are facing, it may be already resolved in the previous chats, or you will get a lot of solution through internet. And another thing is that completely free in the sense you can download and install. That is one case. But if you want to change something in your code, or you want to customize for yourself, the codes are freely available. If you are a little bit knowledge of coding, so you can change it. You can tweak your code based on your requirement. So that is one plus point. This is what I was talking about, frequent updates. That means within 2 to 3 months this is releasing, right? So with a lot of, if the previous version have some issues, some bugs, it will be resolved in the next version. So that is one plus, right, plus point. And in case of a programming, it is supported with it can be supported with any program. It can be R, Python, or PostGIS. So these programming languages are integrated within QGIS. Another thing is you are familiar with GRASS or Saga. That is also open source software. So QGIS, through QGIS platform, you will get access through these other open source softwares as well. Okay, then it is supported with different kinds of data formats. Suppose your project or the hackathon, what you are going to is that the data set is in the maybe vector file or a raster format, or in a GeoJSON format, packages, right, geo packages. So it is easily supported by QGIS. Okay, and there are native languages versions are there, and we can collaborate. As this is completely open source, we can collaborate with any maybe country level or international level. Collaborations can be possible through QGIS projects. Okay, so who is using this? It's not only in academia. So it is cartographers, those who are map making, are completely more into QGIS. They may have some customized softwares as well, but as this is completely free and it can be used to many domain, so the cartographers are major cartographers are used to QGIS. And GIS analysts in industries or in institutions, they are more working on QGIS. So the research, in the sense, it's not what I'm intended to say, that we can look into any kind of a problem. In SDGs itself, you are looking at water resource related problem, they will be using QGIS. It can be any domain, or it can urban planning, social science, geology, forestry, any domain, it can be very useful. So this is all more into a theoretical part, right? Maybe it will be as you all maybe from GIS background, you may familiar why these QGIS are useful and all. So a little bit of recap. So you may be that very common kind of spatial data are vector data and raster data. Vector, in the sense, any object on Earth's surface can be represented in the form of point, line, and polygon. It's very everyone knows that. Raster means anytime you can, when you see the raster, you should know about the pixel information. What is the size of the pixel, or what is the depth, or even the radiometric resolution of a that specific kind of imagery. So that is very important here. And we'll start with some kind of a demo. Those who are beginner in QGIS, it will be very useful. And this is how QGIS interface will look like. So you will have this kind of a browser panel. You will have, because all data are in the form of a layers. Even if it is a water body, that is one layer. Transportation network, that will be another layer. So like that, when you add your data set here, it will be in the form of a different layers here. Okay, so you are able to change the order of layer through layer panel. You can check and uncheck if you don't want to see it in your map canvas. This white space is called map canvas. You can uncheck it. A lot of things you can do within this layer panel. So this is called manage layers toolbar. So here you will, if you know the format of your data set, what you're handling, you can select the icon, or you can select the tool to import your dataset on your map canvas. So this is the general understanding how the QGIS will look like. And we have a very interesting processing toolbox. That means, suppose you know that you want to do some kind of analysis, or you want to merge some two layers, but you are not familiar with where these tools are aligned. You say how to search your tools. In that cases, you just go to the processing, there is a toolbox session, then you can search it. You can just type it merge. So existing merge tools will be shown here. So you can directly select it. And it may be some kind of a fusion, kind of a, you want to do merge of two raster images, or a merge of two vector layers. Based on that, you can select the tool and you can do the operations. Okay. So this is a save. This is called menu bar. Toolbars. This is called toolbar. And browser panel, we already discussed. Browser is nothing but if you have a data set in a specific folder, you can browse it through this. You can drag and drop to the map canvas, or you can use this manage layer toolbar to import your data set here. Okay. And you will know, because you all know coordinate reference system, right? We should familiar with the CRS system, because each location or each grid will be aligned with a specific coordinate reference system. So that you should understand, and you will get know which coordinate reference system you are using, how, what is the scale of it, that you will be able to see from here. This is called coordinate bar. Okay. This is nothing but map canvas, or we'll call it as a map view. So again, once you import all your layers, all the the data set, what you are doing analysis or a project, so it will be look like this. So you can see houses. So within that, you will see two colors, right? This is a classes, like a categories within the house. This is a polygon kind of thing. So this is a very old version. You can see 1.02 here. Right now 3.3 series are released, so little bit changes will be there based on the screen, but more or less same. But very slight. Once you're familiar with the latest, like a very older version, so you can easily catch up what other things are there in the latest versions as well. Okay. Very big advantages when you work on vector layers. You will get an attribute table. Attribute table is nothing but information about your data. Suppose you want to see here, this is a red color, right? That is the attribute information, metadata information about your vector. So that you can add it here. You can add another column, you can delete if you don't want. So suppose some more information you got some area of this, or the house name of this area. So you can name one more attribute table, and you can enter all this information as a extra column here. Okay, so this is a very big advantages with the QGIS. It is supported with a lot of base maps. You are familiar with the Google Earth imageries, right? Google Earth base map or a satellite imagery in a Google Maps. So this is how we are able to see. Suppose you have a coordinate or a geographically located some kind of a vector layer, but you don't know which location it is. We have a plugin called Quick Map Services. Through that, we can add your you can install your plugin, and you are easily able to overlay the same spatial data on your base map. Okay, fine. So and you can see it's all, because it's all visual representation. Once you do any kind of a GIS projects, the final product will be most of the products will be in the form of a maps. So maps means it's a visual representation without descriptively saying something. Instead of that, we can just show it. We can just see dark colored reds, and that means residential units with a lot of residential areas, like a dark red. Yellow color is something only 1 to 7. Some classes or some legends you can prepare it like this. So this is how the final product will be. You can make it more attractive based on your requirement. If you don't want to show the base map, or the location is not very important, or if the information is very important, then you don't need to keep the base map. So you can keep it only this part, but it's up to the requirement. Okay, we were talking about a lot of plus, right? Like these are the advantages we use in QGIS. There are a little bit cons also. That means as this is a free, we are not able to use a big data like a national level, global level project in QGIS. Sometimes it will hang. If you don't have enough support on your system, it will hang your software, and suddenly it will crash. So that is one disadvantage, but it is improving a lot compared to previous versions. And 3D analysis, before it was not there, and new plugins are added in the latest versions. And it is most of the plugins are in the experimental stage, and bugs in few plugins. So you are once you are familiar with plugins, you will find few plugins will have some kind of issues. And visual style, it is a limited number of style. You cannot edit a lot. So apart from any kind of other painting and all, we will have a limited number of tools preparing map making. But it improved a lot as compared to previous version. And if you don't install any QGIS in your system, this is the website. You will get a link how to install, everything is it's written, or you will get know if it is a Windows version, try installing this session, and if it is a Mac, you can install this. Everything is it's a standard. They have explained very well in their website. Okay, so let's start working with a demo. Okay. So I'll just start here. So this is the latest version of QGIS, how this is. So for me, you will able to see a lot of other plugins also, because I have already installed such plugins for my project or the existing projects what I was handling. Okay. Maybe you may have some other plugins, or if you are a very new user, you may not be see these kind of plugins. You can install it based on your project. Okay. So once this is done, you can just start with a new empty project. And suppose you are working with a vector layer, you have to, so this is called a browser, like this is called a manage layer panel. And here you can see when you just keep your cursor here, you can just see add vector layer here. So you can start add vector layer, and this is how we can add vector layer here. I have just taken few demo data set for your hackathon. See, suppose we have a shapefile of Indian shapefile. Okay, see, this is a shapefile, And when you see right click and open attribute table, you will able to see how many polygons are there within this. This is a dissolved kind of, it's a one polygon within. So these are attribute information. Name will be there, location will be there, all this information will be there. And if you want to edit again, or if you want to add one more information, you can always edit this. Okay. And better if you have downloaded some data set, then you don't need to edit directly. You keep it the raw data set as it is, you take a copy of it, then you start changing or manipulating your data set for your work. Okay. So this is what I just want to show, how to add your vector data on QGIS platform, then how to see it in a map canvas. And if you want to change it, the color, this is default summer color will be there. When you open some kind of a vector layer in your system, then it will be in some other color. So suppose you don't like this color and you want to change the color, in that case, just go to this property bar, then you will have a symbol color. You can change it, symbol fill, right? You can change a color based on the work, because it's all how you are preparing your map, how well you are making visually, how well it is. So that is how your, once you complete your hackathon, you solve your problem, but how well you're representing your information or the solution, that is very important. So that will have some kind of a advantages over your compared to other. Okay. So this is what QGIS in vector, and let's just see. Okay. Vector layer. See, we have a vector. Suppose you created a new vector file and you want to share that vector file with your colleague or your friends or your professor. You have to attach all your extension files. You cannot share only .shp file. You have to keep database or a projection or SHX. All the supportive files should be attached together. Then only they can open it in their system. And this is one example of how to add your vector. This is a state boundary of Karnataka. We have added through the same tool here. Okay. So this is a BB. Initially, I was talking about only one boundary. The second layer is a BBMP layer having 198 watts across this. Across this, we have a 198 individual polygons. So that means it will have a separate 198 records. And your project is talking only one word, or the problem you are going to solve for a one word, you can easily extract it from this complete shapefile as well. You can just select the open attribute table, then select only that word what you are preferring. You can export it, and selected feature you can export it. Okay. So this is talking about polygon vector file. Another type of vector file is a road. It's a line feature or a multi-line features. That means there's a road network of a BBMP area, which is in this is the Bangalore region, and you can see how road networks are available through OSM GeoFabric website. You are able to download some kind of vector layers for maybe for your hackathon. Okay. This is one, that is what Aman told, right? You can be very attentive in this session. So you will get some input. You will get, suppose your problem has to handle some kind of a road network or existing LULC. OSM website or a GeoFabric website will give you one path to get your data set. Okay. And this is if you want to remove that fill, if you want to remove this, sorry, here. So here if you want to remove this fill, then you can directly go here, properties, because maybe you want to represent some information within this and you don't want to see this color, then you can just go to the properties and go to symbol fill, and instead of solid, you keep it as a no brush. You will get the boundary map. Okay. When you see some kind of a research paper, you will see maybe globally they will represent one thing, then they will come to a national level, then state level, then ward level, and your study area. So in that cases, it may be in case of only boundary. And how you can keep only boundary, this is the way you can do it. Okay, yeah, here this is only a boundary representation. Okay, another thing is here a very common kind of any like other kind of spatial data is raster imageries or a raster data set. Imageries are nothing but a raster. If it has a geographically coordinated, then it's called raster data. So I'll just show how to, because initially I have selected this tool, right? And if you know that our data is for your project is in the form of a raster, you have to select the second one, which add raster here. Select add raster here, then go here, and this is called browser, right? Data source manager. Then you are just selecting, I'm just adding one kind of a digital elevation model here. See, something has okay, yeah, but I'm not able to, I want to zoom up to the digital elevation model. Then right click here and zoom to layer. So now you are able to see this is called a digital elevation model. Many hydrological project or a water resource project or many SDG problems, hydrology and agriculture related, rainfall related, are handled by digital elevation. Not only digital elevation model, some kind of a derived data set from digital elevation model. So that this is a base for any kind of other hydrology related derived data sets. Okay, so this is called a digital elevation model, and you can do a lot of analysis through digital elevation model as well. Okay. So this is how the digital elevation model. Then okay, attribute table we have already covered, because I want to finish it, and within maybe 10-15 minutes we can have some discussion about is if you are facing any difficulty in QGIS. Okay, so this is open attribute table. You can style your feature, you can color your, because this is a default some color, right? We want to see it in some color with a very attractive color. You can just keep it as a plate here. You can see some differences, right? Some you can change the map color palette here and just change it here. So this is the way how you want to showcase your data set in different colors. Okay, and you can make it a categorized or a single graduated. So this is called how to change your based on your attribute table. Suppose you want to change it based on, in case of here, so we have a some kind of a, suppose if I'm taking any kind of a BBMB word itself. Okay, and okay, you can see here, right? And here I want to see attribute table, and here you can see some information. We can take it, which one we will take, we'll take a population, total population. I want to see out of this ward which ward have a highest population. So go to here, properties, and instead of single symbol we are just doing categorized. So on what basis you want to categorize it, on what basis we want to have a total population. So classify it, so individual it will be. Okay, it is individually we are getting. So just apply it here. So you can see colors, right? So you can see here which is the different colors are representing different value, or you can graduated level also you can keep it. So that I'll just show you here. See, graduated and classify. See here they are giving some kind of a threshold. Within this, represent it as a one color. Within some range, you represent it as a one color. See, here you will able to see wherever this, see this colors, right? The 36,582. So this is how you can represent your data and how well you can represent your information. This is already, the population data are already within the attribute table. We have it. In case of hackathon, you are solving some kind of a problem, and you quantitatively you have measured some information. You can attach those information to your vector file, Then open that vector file in QGIS or any software which you are familiar, then represent it very well. Instead of talking, instead of, you have only 5 minutes presentation, how much you can present within 5 minutes? So instead of that, you present your answers or the solutions very well. So that is the way you can win this hackathon. Okay, so this is one styling features. This is we have already discussed. Based on some kind of attribute table, we can represent your polygons here. Rule based also we can give it as a rule. Within this, you can greater than this, we can give one color, or we can, it's up to how we want to represent our maps. Okay, then you can style it, you can label it, because here I'm not labeled anything, I am not giving any legend here. Instead of that, you can give some label also. Suppose each word has some number, right? Word number we call, so we can label that part very well. We can label based on the, see, single label I'm taking. Based on word name, it will be very clumsy because long word name will be there. Instead of that, I'll give some number. See, I'll get this. Still, it is look very bad because the text size is little bit more in here. You can change it. You can edit it. Properties, go to properties, and here instead of 10, you can give it as maybe 7. Just see how it looks. It's little bit. It is okay at least. So at least instead of giving it as in the name of word name, you can give it as a 144. That is the identity of that word, right? We have an identity word number. So these numbers having a highest population, and it ranges from this to this. And as you can see, center part has the highest, and the outer part have a little bit, maybe the towards rural Bangalore, it is compared to urban, it is less. Okay, and here, so please label it properly, give all the title. You know what, how the map should represent. You should give a proper title. It's not like a very long title, but try to give a lot of information with a short title. And what else, you have to give a proper legend, what is the scale of your outcome. So these information you can add it in your data, like the maps. You can style it. Okay, as I told, any kind of a data set you are handling in GIS, it is in the form of a layers, vector layers, raster layers, and all. So, okay, and this is what, when you share your data set in GitHub, or when you upload your result, don't upload only .shp, because evaluation is required from our end with all the set of data set. We will run your code, or we will see your the results through the whatever software what we have it. So what are the relevant information, please share it through GitHub. And even if it is a raster, if it will be a little bit, the space or the data space will be a little bit higher. So just add it the only relevant features. So the shapefile we have already discussed a lot. So you can order it, filter, query, and all. Suppose you want to filter some information through this. You don't want to show all this. I want to show only the population, or the some kind of a filter, spatial query we will call it as. Okay, we have a filter options here. So we can, so suppose here I'm taking, right, tool, you can give it as equal to some value, you can give it some numbers, you can give it, and just give it okay. Then only that part, or okay, only those vector or those polygon will be highlighted here. That we call it as a spatial query or a filter. Just like an Excel sheet, we are doing filter operation, right? So we can give greater than any kind of arithmetical operation, you can give it through that. Yeah, here you can just see here. I've taken the one, there is a attribute name called complaint equal to this information I'm giving. So when you give that information, only those, like how many rows, suppose we have 515 rows are there, but this data set right now I don't have it, that's why I'm not showing it. But if you have 1,000 polygons in your entire data set, based on your query, only limited number or a selected number of polygons will be showcasing here. Just like a Excel or attribute is nothing but kind of a RDMS, like relational database, right? Okay, not only one query, you can give multiple. Population is this, and other information or ward name should be this, or some kind of information, extra additional condition also you can give in within filter and query tools as well. Zoom to layer we have already discussed, and this is how dot vector layers will look like. Dot. Okay, zoom selection. So you have a lot of zoom selection bar will be there. You can see, suppose you want to select only this part and you want to show only this part, just up to this you can zoom out. Okay, that is also there. And map, pan your data set, or if you want to pan it here, you can just give it in what location you want to pan. See, this is how the pan will work. Okay, and exporting your data set. So you want to suppose this is a data set you have maybe downloaded from some data set, and you don't want to change the vector layer here, so then you can just export it as it is. Just go to, select the layer, right click and export save features. Okay, that is one option. Another thing is, suppose you want to do only few, see up to here only, you can see in yellow color, where which are the polygons I have selected through or from or attribute table, that will be highlighted here, and right click here and give the export and give it as a selected features. Then only that will be selected feature. You can give name and which folder you want to save your new export file, which coordinate system if you want to project it into some other coordinate system, that is also possible. You can name properly, then you can just apply it. I'm not recreating anything, but this is way how you can change it now, because already these polygons are selected, that is why it's chosen yellow color. You can just unselect, because the other part which are not selected, that will be there. You can select all, you can unselect. So that is all. There are many tools available within this attribute table itself. Okay, and here, okay, exporting. And very important thing, suppose your data set in the form of a delimited, that means comma separated variable, you can directly see, suppose your Excel sheet or a CSV file have location information lat long, but you don't have a vector layer of this. So QGIS will help you to create a vector layer from CSV file. So here you can select delimited. You can select that dot CSV file here. I think right now I don't have. Suppose you have a CSV file, you can just select the CSV file from here. Then it will ask what is latitude and what is longitude in the. Then you can give that information because you have given X, because if you are collecting some information from field, you may be written it X, but you know that is latitude. So you can give that X is equal to latitude, Y is equal to longitude. Then based on that, it will add and it will create a shape file from your .csv file. So you can export and you can keep it as a vector files. That is very important, and analysis you can do using shape files. Okay, here, yeah, CSV is just one, and any kind, if the CSV containing X and Y or a lat and long, you can prepare your shape file from CSV. This is what I was showing. You can add layer, or see one more options. If you are not sure you are not able to see this, then you can go layer, and there is an option to add layer. This is same actually. Okay. And here you can see delimited text layer. You can select that. So this and this is the same. There are many ways to import your data set. So this is one way. Okay. Then what else? CSV we have discussed. So this is what initially it was in the form of a point information in the form of a CSV. When I import through delimited, this is a bus stop location in Bangalore. So I could see all the bus stop locations in the form of a point. So now we can do a lot of route analysis and network connectivity analysis, and which are the area, enough number of bus stops are there. Lot of analysis we can do once your data is in the form of a shapefile. Okay, because CSV you could not represent geographically where it is, only lat long value. You are not visually see exactly where that point informations are there. So here you are able to see that part, and you can convert. This is how, once this is there, you can just save as, and you can export in the form of a shapefile. Okay, then this shapefile you can add. Once that is in the form of a shapefile, you can add a lot of bus stop name you can add, or which ward it is, or how many buses are passing through that bus stop. If you have some kind of a traffic data set within that, then you can add it in attribute table. This is called attribute table. So it's up to that on what kind of project you are handling. Based on that, we have to select the tools, and the methodology will change based on your work. Base map is, suppose you are a beginner, you are not familiar with a base map. So there is a plugins. So there is a plugin bar here, right? Go to here, plugin, and manage and install plugin. Here, this is where you will get a lot of plugins. That means those who are developers, they may be developed some kind of a plugin, and they may be added in the repository. So as we are just an application, we are just applying those plugins, we can directly install it from through these repository. We'll call it as a plugins bar. Okay, here in plugins, you just select. You can see a few checked one, right? That means I have installed a few for my project. So there are many. I may not be used all. See, I have used coins. I have used some DB manager. There are many. For classification tools, there are many. Suppose you don't have a base map plugin, go to all, then you go to quick map service. Okay, so I have already installed. Suppose you don't have, then you just select that. See, when you select, if you don't have installed, you will get an option that install plugin. For me, I can reinstall it or I can uninstall it, because existing this already I have it. So in your case, you can install it. Okay, once you install it, go to web. There will be quick map services. Initially, you are not able to see all these APIs. You can call it as application program interfaces. In such cases, go to settings and more services. Get all the contributed packs which supports to see all the APIs available and which is integrated with the QGIS. Then you can, then after when you get all the contributed packs, you are able to see a lot of information here. And just go to, because we all familiar with Google Maps or satellite imagery view, we can just directly take this. See, so this is one way to represent your maps very well geographically. Exactly on global level, you can keep it. Okay, and you can change the boundary, because blacks we are not highlighted here. You can change the boundary into some highlighting color with, go to symbology, not fill here, black. Here I am using some yellow color contrast, right? So I can see, and I can change the thickness of boundary. A lot of things we can do it. This is how the base map will work. And if you want to show not the satellite imagery for this quick map services, and yeah, here you can see I have highlight, or I have put it into road, but I'm not able to see. As I told, this is all in the form of layers. Here satellite is top of road, that's why I'm not able to see. Even if I have put it in a road, you can uncheck it here, then it is in the form of roads actually. But you can see the base map is like this, and if I put it in the color of yellow, it won't highlight your boundary, are not able to represent your vector layer. In that cases, you have to highlight with a proper coloring. So what I intend to say that on what base map you are preparing it, it's not like I have used all the tools and I am using Google Roads and I am using the boundary of layer, but you are not representing it well, right? We don't want to see how you are analyzing, how like analyzing part we will verify, but we won't look at what are the layers you have used in Google Earth Engine or a QGIS or any software what you are going to use it in Hackathon, but how well you are representing. Are you separating your boundary? Are you showcasing a steady area well? And why the steady area is important to resolve some kind of a SDG problem? And these things should be highlighted when you present your work or when you submit your results. Clear? And another thing, okay, base map is very important, and from where you can represent and all this you will get it. Quick map services, okay, we have already discussed this part. Colors, see there is a join operation. Suppose you have a 2 vector file and one is in the form of a only table format, and you want to join this attribute table in one layer. There is a spatial join operations there. Then you can see here in properties also you can see. Suppose you want to join properties, okay, we have a join operation. Suppose you have a table which is giving information about this, okay, but you want to join it together, you can just directly join it. Or if you can merge it, this is what I was talking, right? Go to the processing, you want to do some analysis but you don't know where it aligns. Suppose it's a merge operation of two data set. Go to merge operation, and existing merge operation with a raster, with vector, a lot of things you will able to see. This is another important things, GDAL or a grass or a last tools. So there are many integrated, like many open source software is already integrated with QGIS. So this is how spatial joins will work. Okay. We will discuss if you want. Reproject is very important because it's when it is in the WGS system, all the information or the geometrical information in the form of a degrees, and you want to project it and you want to make it in the metric system, you have to project based on the location. So this will have a specific grid, right? So based on that, you have to give what grid it is. It's a 43 north, it's a UTM projection system. You can keep it when you want to convert your WGS system into a projected or a metric system. Because sometimes only visual representation may not help. You have to give us some quantity or some kind of a measures to represent how your project is something very unique from others. Okay, okay, fine. So that is one. Yeah, then okay, this we have already discussed, right? And the map composer, like we want to prepare one map from QGIS. There is, you can go to here project and you can print layout. You can give this name. Okay, you can just give some proper name. Okay, I'll just take one example. Just I'm giving one. Okay, so this is how you can create your maps. So we can give select this part, and we can add your data, add map from here. See, actually, I didn't put it in the proper scale, but that you can keep it however you want. And here you can give a legend up to here. If you don't want to show all the legend, please remove it. Title, give the title properly here or wherever you want. Okay. And north arrow, scale bar, because you have to keep all the products or the maps in the standard way. It should have a proper title, it should have a proper legend, the scale should be represented, north arrow should be presented. Okay, so that is how. Okay, okay, we have discussed this part. Yeah, very important. I want to take 10 minutes for a very like still till we were talking about like basic like understanding of how the vector layer will look like and all. But right now I want to look at classification. Most of them will be very familiar with the classification. Satellite imagery, right? Like Landsat series are available from 1970s onwards. That means 2023 now. That means almost 50 years of data sets are available. Now you want to do some kind of a change detection analysis for a longer period. This is the only source of data available for understanding the change detection. Suppose you have a satellite imagery and you know like how the false color composition will look like, and why we are doing these kind of, why we are using satellite imagery, and why we what is the objective of your study. We want to prepare a multi-level or a multi-class LULC, land use land cover class. This is a Bangalore region, you can see, right? It's a 2022 satellite imagery. The product or when I do classification, how it looks. This is how the classified image will look. I don't want to discuss a lot of what are the sensors available and how important electromagnetic radiations within this and what are the bands are important. If needed, we can, but let it be a general. Okay, this is a very high resolution imageries of a Bangalore region, but this is not freely available. We have to we can get just a screenshot from a Google, but that is not the proper satellite imageries, and you are not able to analyze further. Okay, so this is the first band of coastal band will look, how the blue band will look, because electromagnetic in case of a satellite imagery, what spectral information and what band it is, it's very important, and each band how it looks, and each band what are the characteristics of that, within what wavelength it will look, what is the resolution of that particular band. So these are very important information when you further do any kind of analysis through satellite imageries. Okay, each sensor, Landsat 8 or 9 or 7, each sensor have a different bands. Band in the sense the order of bands may be different. It is different actually. You have to know what is 2, what is 3, because 7.2 will be different from 8B2. 8 in the sense I'm talking about Landsat 8. L8, Landsat 8 band 2 is different from Landsat 7 band 2. Okay, what sensor you are using, you should know the characteristics of that sensor and what is the combination of the band combinations. Okay, near infrared is very important for vegetation studies, water mapping, water surface mapping and all, very important. And the combination of the true color will look like this. Shortwave is very important for other LST things or water mapping. And see, thermal infrared is very important for land surface temperature. You can see this resolution here, right? This is little bit 15-meter resolution. Landsat 8 with a band 8 is panchromatic. This is black and white imagery, grayscale imagery, and this is having a 15-meter resolution, and the previous one having a 30-meter resolution. These all have 30-meter resolution. You can see the difference here. This is okay, here this is what I told, right? Band 1 here it's a blue band, but in band Landsat 8 band 1 is a aerosol or a coastal. So this is there are a lot of bands. Here it's only 8 bands. There are 9 bands here. Clear? And Landsat 9 having more than 9. That means I think 11 bands are there in Landsat 9 series. Sentinel 10-meter resolutions are available from European Space Agency. Active sensors in the sense the sensors itself will emit radiation and it will catch, or passive in the sense sun or a surf energy should be from a sun. Then here this is a sensor can emit and it can catch it. And this is very important any kind of a cloud studies or a kind of a precipitation or a flood analysis. We need some kind of a aperture radar or a SAR imageries. SAR imageries will have other kind of a bands. Okay, spatial resolution, hope you all familiar what is a spatial pixel information, what is the temporal information, time period. Spectral information is talking about number of bands. Radiometric is talking about the number of shades within those imageries. Okay, spatial resolution, if you want to look for a region like a country level, national level studies, that is kilometer per pixel is okay. So this is what you, how you finalize your resolution of your satellite imagery. You are looking for a 30 kilometer. This is how the state will look like. So 6 kilometer will look like this. And if you want 750 meter, this is nightlight imageries. It is very important for many kind of urban studies, how the urbanization happened, which are the area having a good electricity support. All those informations are very important and it's freely available. You will get all through Google Earth Engine, any many other data sources as well. Okay, for this Landsat 8 30-meter, Sentinel 2 with 10-meter resolution. Temporal is talking about time period. Okay, visual representation of natural color, false color composition. Because when you see a false color composition, when you take these kind of a combination, vegetation parts can be represented in the form of a different shades of red. So that means human eye can easily recognize different shades of red rather than any color. So it's a very easy for you to take a training sample out of it. Okay, it's when you do the combination is something like this, then the appearance will be like this. Okay, this is agriculture related, and this is Indian satellite imageries with a 5.8 meter resolution, list 4 foreign with a high resolution, foreign satellite with very high resolution, Vidhan Sauda. You can see a lot of information here, but it is not freely available. That's a disadvantage. We can purchase it, we can procure it from the organization, but the problem is that it's very costly. We cannot, as a researchers, or it's very costly. This is free, European Space Agency, and this is some kind of indices. You just make sure that instead of manual map making of vegetation, it's very time consuming and it is not possible for a short time, right? Within a short period, it's very difficult. So in case of a vegetation, because every imageries are in the form of a two-dimensional array. For us, it's an image, but for system, it is all arithmetic. Like it's kind of arrays. Each pixel will have some value. Same as an array, we have values, right? A1, you may be when each pixel will have some value, some digital number. Similar way, it's kind of array. We can do a lot of arithmetical operation on top of. We can add two imagery, we can subtract it, we can divide it. So when we do these kind of indices, we can produce these kind of vegetation maps. Water surface mapping. Just think about, you want to manually digitize all the surface map. It is not possible, right? It is possible, but it's not for because very maybe seasonal changes will happen, or every year the water body is changing from X1 to X2. So this kind of indices will help you to map your surface built up area. Okay, see, this is very important because when you start working with any kind of a problem, from where we will get these kind of data set, that is very important, right? You want to resolve some kind of a problem, but what is the data source and what is availability of vector layer, raster data set, and algorithms also. Is those the algorithms are freely available? So these kind of things are very important. And few NASA, European, they are freely they are giving it through their websites. Then Earth Explorer will give you a single platform to get all the data set. And Google Earth Engine, that is a very good platform for accessing any kind of open source, even if it is a vector, raster, and you don't need to download anything. You can just take it, just get an account, then you can just cloud-based platform. You just do all analysis. You can download only the product. That is also one plus point. The negative point with the QGIS is that if you want to work on 50 years of data with a raster, you have to do one by one. One year you have to take, you have to download, pre-process it, take it everything on your based on the requirement. Then you have to do LUSA map or any work, whatever, surface mapping, any work. Then that will take time, and it is completely depends upon the capacity of your system. Okay. Okay, that is what commercial data high resolution is not freely available. LOSA classification, you all may know that true color composition, false color composition. After product will be this, and so you can see Bangalore 1973 and 2018, how it has changed over a period. It was a green city, garden city, lakes, a lot of lakes. You can see how much this is airport area. You can see how it's completely concrete now. You see the change. This is all the result from our lab. Just want to showcase it. Why these? Because you think about without spatial data, is it possible to track a time series data like this? This is a precious information to the government, right? See how which area it has changed, how it has changed, how much area has going to get. And these historical data are very important for your prediction also. Next year, what is going to happen and which area it is going to happen if the trend goes as it is. Okay. And this is all from our lab information. So this is what I just want to showcase QGIS first. QGIS is completely free. You can directly use it, and you can do a lot of things through QGIS. The satellite imageries are freely available. Few spatial data, vector data are freely available. You don't need to digitize from the scratch. Initially, it was not the case. If you want to do any kind of analysis, you have to do by digitization. Right now, a lot of data is available. Only the thing is, you take a problem statement, try to resolve, and how the nation can be useful, like they can use your products for the development or any kind of problem solving part. Okay, with that I'll conclude. I'll take maybe 5 minutes, and if you facing any difficulty and if you have any doubts, please we can clarify now. Aman, can I stop now, or how it will be?
So if there are any questions, right, for the audience with QGIS or setting up anything, I think we can take questions for 5-10 minutes and have discussion. So anyone of you can like turn on your audio and then ask questions directly, or you can put it in chat. You can take questions for 5-10 minutes, and after that, there is one important thing about GitHub setup that I need to show you guys. So we'll carry on with that. But before this, if there are any questions, you can take that.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Rashia. Yeah, thanks for the wonderful session. I'm Kapil, and I'm also a PhD student and working related to spatial data, spatial temporal data. So I didn't use QGIS as of now because I mostly work in R and using different libraries. So what do you think? And I understand that you might have used Python or R. So what do you think the advantage of QGIS over R or Python?
Yeah. So what's your background?
Yeah, so I've done my bachelor's in computer science and master's in math, and it has been 3 years in PhD in statistics.
So actually, that is very plus point for your case, okay? And R, if you are very good in R, you can build your own code, okay? And the little difficult will it will take time. right? Because you have to start from scratch, you have to build your code. But in case of a QGIS, it's already few plugins or few tools are already available, and it's free too. And you can, the thing about it, suppose you are facing a problem with the classification, and you want to process your each band, and you want to the combination of all, and you have to build a classification algorithm from through your code, correct? Maybe RF or
Yeah. So my doubt is like, it's like that on what method I'm working. That specifically method I want to write in R, and based on that I want to see the visualization and all. So about the tool, what I feel that it's already built, and in R or Python, whatever we are writing, we can see the same output based on our input. But in QGIS, like tool-based things, I'm not very habitual and
Actually,
don't
I
use
should
in
say
past
that
as
if it
well.
is a simple work, if it is a just a simple analysis, it's not like a very complex thing. You have
Yeah.
to make utilize open source software which is already implemented, and it's all, many researchers are already used and they have evaluated the work. Okay, that will save your time, because as you are a research scholar, when you do your own code which is very resembled to the already existing, nothing new, you are not contributing anything to our society or a community. Okay, you are taking a lot of time, you are building it, that is okay, but try to understand the gap. Where is the gap? Or if you are working with only the existing tool which is everyone is using, the thing is you take 2 months to do a classification. The smart people, what they will do, they will take a QGIS, they will do all the analysis within 2 days. You are killing your time, right? Instead of that, make utilize. I'm not stopping you to work on programming. You can work, you can parallelly work and compare your result. And if it is very equal, like 99% is giving same result, you don't need to write for any other imageries. Start using the existing tools. That is one advantage. But QGIS is not having all the tools which is relevant for your project. Okay, then in that cases, if the tools or the plugins are not available, that is very good advantage, is that you can build your own code or you can build your own plugin. You can contribute to the community, you can directly contact the QGIS community, and they will accept if they will have some kind of experimental packages and all, they will take your code. I should highlight one person from IIHS, Pratyush. Pratyush has built coins tool. So coins is he developed a tool in Python, and he has contributed to the QGIS. The coins will give us to prepare a hierarchical map of a road network, like what is the primary road, secondary road. We don't need to classify or categorize it. He developed it. So many researchers or urban planners or transportation engineers directly using those plugins. This is how you can contribute.
Yeah. So one of the thing is like, other most of the researchers in other department like public policy and economics, they use QGIS, but in my area, so it's decision sciences, statistics. Here
Huh.
the main part is modeling. So that's why I never went for this QGIS kind of thing,
Maybe
because it's,
pre-processing, image pre-processing, preparing your data set ready. QGIS will help you to like make it fast. You can prepare it very fast. Modeling based on your model, those models may not be freely available or it may not be existing. That is
yeah,
what
yeah,
the
not
PhD scholars
existing.
will be, right? We are doing
Yes.
something new which is not there in the world. Okay, so in that cases, it is very helpful. QGIS, you can use it. I'm very big fan of any GIS software, and I'm a programmer also. I started learning programming during my PhD. I'm a civil engineer. See,
Okay.
understand from where I'm coming. I'm a civil engineer person, but now I enjoy coding. See, I am a big fan of. I started JavaScript through Google Earth Engine. It is very useful in many cases, and Python for modeling. It's very useful. So in that cases, you can make utilize.
Yeah.
Nothing will stop you to use, right?
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah,
that. One last question. I won't take much time. Yeah.
yeah,
So
please.
uh, let's say that I don't know that it is possible in QGIS or in some other software. So you had this word shapefile, DBMP word shapefile,
Your voice is
and
breaking little bit. Can you?
yeah. So So you had this word shape file, Bangalore BBMP word shape file, and you have shown in QGIS, and there you are showing this tree and all. So that was there in the data, or based on the shape file using map, you got the information about garden or
label you're asking?
Label or some kind of economic factors like bus stop and also you have to give it separately, or based on that you can get the information.
See, suppose you have a CSV or Excel sheet, economic data, social, some other attribute information.
So let's say I don't have.
Then you can, if you don't have it means, but if you don't have any information means how you can add it?
No, because I was using OpenStreetMap, so I'm thinking like based using this map on QGIS or other software, if we can directly capture the things.
See, the thing is, when you have a OpenStreetMap, so existing or attribute table only you are able to view it in QGIS. You are able to open attribute table, but we don't know economic data or social informations are included in those attribute table. I'm not sure that those informations are very rare to get. Okay. And in such cases you won't able to, but when you contact some other organization, you got economic data in some other format, but OSM is in another format. You can always combine together because you are working with one area with a lot of information. QGIS will help you, and it be a very good platform to combine together data pre-processing, very analysis kind of. It is very useful in many cases, I feel. Otherwise, manually you have to do, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I guess I have taken a lot of time.
Yeah, you can be in touch with me at any time.
Yeah,
we all are
sure.
researchers, right?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Kapil, for questions. Ango, thank you, Raisha, for answering them and giving this wonderful presentation. So now what I'll do is, so there is one thing. So we'll end this session, QGIS session. If you have any doubts, you can put them in chat here, in WhatsApp or in Slack, and we'll be answering those questions. If you have any problem with the data acquisition, how do I collect this data? You have some idea but don't know how to implement it. That also we can help you out with. So that is the other thing. Now what I want to do is pass on this sheet to you. So the team leads, I think, can fill the email address, and I'll show you what needs to be done. And I'll share my screen. How do we share? Okay, hope you're seeing it. And okay, so I've shared this sheet with you. What you guys have to do is enter the email on the right. Now you might not have access for this, but if you guys, let me just, if you guys can comment, even that should be fine, but do let me know. Just turn on your mic and do let me know if you are able to comment also, then I can accept.
I guess we have already filled the email ID in the Google form.
Yes,
Which was there, right?
yes. So you have filled. Now the reason I'm asking this email ID is for GitHub access. So your email ID might not be linked with GitHub, and the other reason is maybe there are 3 participants, and I only want the team lead's email ID so that I can give access to them to submit their GitHub submissions. So let me open GitHub. Where is it? Okay, it's here. Okay. So as you guys fill the form, let me just check if anyone is able to. I don't think so. You guys are able to fill the form. Let me make you editors. So please fill the email IDs of your team members. Only the team lead should fill the email ID. And once this is done, I think I'll show. And if you have any questions, I've given access, just fill the email IDs. Okay, so now coming on to this GitHub. So how will you submit your problem statement or your solutions? I'm also sharing this link on the chat, just so you can see this. Right now you don't have access to edit or change anything, but later on when I add the email IDs of the team lead, you will be able to create repositories. So this is our homepage where all the submissions will go in. All details are given here, and you'll also see resources. So when you're preparing your presentation, when you're and the team sheet, which is the sheet currently, you just connect. So your team sheets, which is the sheet that I just shared with you, and also evaluation criteria, on what basis are you being evaluated. You can open it here and just see these. So I'll go one by one, but before that, I want to highlight this repository section. So say your project is complete, you have created a project, and now you want to make a submission. So the way you would do it is come to this link and click on new repository. And by the way, like if you have any questions, just directly ask, because I'm not monitoring the chat. So it'll be better if you guys can just say directly. Okay, so click on this new repository. So right now I don't think so you'll be able to do it, but once I give access, you should be able to. If not, just contact me. So the submission is till 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. So by that time you can submit. So you have to create the repository name. So these there is one standard format for repository name as well, which will be your team number dash your team name. So this should be the format. And team number, how do I get it? So you can come here and then see your team ID. So this team ID should be here. Say one is my team ID and my name is Spatial Sprinter. So this should be your repository name. Description is whatever you're trying to submit. Say it could be, as I've given below, test submission, or it could be anything. And then make sure to make it private as of now. And also, so once you do this, I think I can create one test submission. I'll show you guys what happens. Just create a private repository. So those who are not familiar, GitHub repositories are basically a place where you store your data, and it can be shared via just a link, and others can also edit. Now what I'll do, you don't have to do anything else. Just click on private and then create repository. Now, so you'll see this scary page. Don't worry about this if you have not worked with it. Just go and click create a new file. Or if you have an existing file, say you have some data or a Python code or R code, just click on this and choose your file. Upload your data. So in my case, maybe I want to upload this untitled IPYNB, which is a Jupyter notebook. Maybe I want to upload that, and then what I'll do is I'll commit changes. Committing changes means that you're just saying GitHub that I want to save these changes, and you can add some comments so that you remember later. Added IPYNB file to my repo. Say something like that. And then you can just click on commit changes. So it will process, and then it will display this untitled.ipynb on the repository. Now what has happened is I've created this repository. So you would do the same for your project as well. So your team will have say 2 dash the team name. Now if I go back to this organization, this is IEEE GRSS, and open a new tab, which does not have access to this. So what you would see is you can only see one repository. My repository that I created, one spatial thinker, that is not visible because you have made it private. So that is the whole concept of private. So we'll make it public with your permission after the hackathon. But as of now, we want to make it private. Only members of this group can see it. So that is the reason. So that is one thing. Hope this is clear. If not, if it is not clear, or maybe your participants, your team members are not here, what you could do is go down to this section, follow the same steps, and submit. I mean, you don't have to then, I mean, your submission is over then. Just keep in mind to add a readme file, which is titled as this readme.md. So the way you do it is, again, go to your repository, say you have created this repository. What you do is go to add file and select create new file and name it as readme.md. Make sure to name it as is, as I've mentioned here. And then whatever you type here, I can say I created a readme.md file for my project, and then commit the changes. Commit means saving the changes. See, by default it has created some commit message for you. You can just say commit to main branch directly, just save it. Now what has happened is, if I go back again, and other is readme.md. So this readme.md files, what it does, it creates a pane for you to directly visualize what is the content. So this is what we are going to see. This is your evaluation, one of your evaluation criteria. What do you put in readme.md? So the data should, your project should have one of all the mentioned things which are there in evaluation. So you'll have, how did you access your data? Where did you get your data from? Where is a Python code stored? How do you run it? Or if you created a map, how did you create it? By creation, I mean what styling did you use? So those kind of things should be here. And say you did some analysis, say you did earthquake analysis. You're trying to find the most prone areas of earthquake, and you did that analysis. How did you do that analysis should go here. So that is one step, and that submission should happen by 6 p.m. on Saturday. Now, other thing is your presentations. So presentations will also go here. You have to upload your presentation. Say I go to add file, upload file, choose a file, and maybe I have a sample presentation. Yeah, I have a presentation format. You can just click here and then type uploaded my presentation, that, and then commit changes. So you can see your presentation as well. So make sure to have your presentation, your data, and your code if you're writing any code, and your maps. So all of them should be here. Okay, so I think that is clear, and I'm just checking the evaluation board. So most of you have uploaded your email address. After this session, I'll add you as a member to this organization so that you can start tinkering around and create repositories. You can delete repository as well. So say you messed up and you want to like delete files. Either you can delete a single file, or if you want to just delete the entire thing, you can just go and go to settings, come down to the end, and then click on this delete repository. You can then click on this, say I understand, and then type in what it is saying. So in my case, it is one spatial printer, and delete. So it is asking for my mobile. It is only in my case because I have set up two-factor authentication, but nothing to worry from your side. I'll just, so this won't pop up for you. Okay, so this is done. And now you can see that I've removed that repository. So there is, because once you're a member, you cannot delete any other repository. Only the repositories that you have created, you can delete it. So that creates a foolproof solution that other solutions are not deleted. Okay, I'm also sharing this on the Slack channel. Vijay, if you are on the call, I think I've added Aquasword till the to the end, 33. I'm seeing the Slack message. So these, I think later on I can fail it if no one responds from this group, but I'll also add to the WhatsApp channel so that you guys can edit it. I just want one email, and also to note that the emails that you have provided here, you need to create a GitHub account if you don't have already. So maybe I can show one example. Say who is on the call. I think Nadeem, say if I take your example, what I can do is I can come to people and then add. So I can invite members and paste in the email address. Now I've invited Nadeem. So I'll invite him as a member and also add him data group. Don't worry about this. So this is the step I am following. Now at your end, what you will receive is something like this. Maybe I can demonstrate another way, which is I have another profile, which is, where is it? I have my another profile which is called Aman Jain BLR, and what I can do is I can add even this profile as a member. So I can just start fresh because I've already done it once. Add him as a member. Okay, so I've sent one invitation to two folks. One is Nadeem and one is Aman. And at your end, what will happen is if I open that, not this. Okay, so at this end, what is happening is if I refresh, and go to have received. Nadeem, if you are on call, can you just confirm if you have got any mail or invitation or anything?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Nadeem.
Yeah, I'm Nadeem. I didn't receive any mail or invitation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can do one thing. I'll add it again and try. Now I am able to see the invitation. So what you guys might have to do is, so there are two things that will happen. One is you'll receive an email from me saying that I'm asking you to join this group organization. So you just have to accept or come to this link and then view invitation, join. So this is the step that you have to do. So I'll try again with Nadeem and let me know if that works. Where is it? Okay. I'll try adding Nadeem. and I've invited him as a member. Okay, Nadeem, like, can you go to this link and check? Abhishek, are you able to add the email? I saw your message now. If you're able to add, then it is fine, or else I'll take care of it. Okay. So if you guys have any doubts, so now is the time to ask. So this is the overall process of making a submission, which is first step I'll do is add people, and from your end you have to accept the invitation. Maybe if someone else is in the call, I can if Kapil, you're on the call, I think I can add you so that you can just tell me.
Yeah, I'm on the call.
I've invited you. Can you check at your end if it is to get any link or?
Over the email, right?
Sorry?
Over the email only I will get the link. So I have
Yeah.
opened my GitHub account. Yeah, I got the link.
Okay, great. Great. So you can add yourself, like click on join the organization, and then you'll be able to create repositories.
Yeah, you
So
can
the same
see
process.
that. I can see that
Yeah.
I have added myself.
All right. Yes. So I can see the members. So I've added Kapil, right? Okay. So that is the way you get added to this. And if you have any questions, then just reach out to us or see this as well, and on WhatsApp. Great. So that is all for GitHub. There are few things that you could actually do with GitHub, which is like you can clone the repository and edit it at your end on locally. So those kind of things, I think it is not required. But even if you want it, what you could do is once you've created a repository, you can go to code here, which is code tab here, go to local and click on HTTPS or SSH, copy, and then come to terminal or say CMD in Windows, and then you can just do git clone and type in the address. So what that will do is it will download that whole repository into your local machine, and then you can make changes. But I think this is not required for this hackathon. It is more towards map making or an analysis of finding a problem for sustainable development goals. So we'll keep it up to that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to showcase is your goals. So just this. So I come back. So because you've given preferences in this, so out of these preferences, we'll select one of those preferences. Say the first team gets 4 as their topic. So 4 theme is go to the sheet. Just this climate action. So you guys have to work on that. The team will work on climate action, and they will select one of the topics from that. Now the topic selection is based on you. but you have to ask the moderators if that is fine, because there are only 5 teams, there might be conflicts within the same team. Say 2 teams are doing the same topic, so we don't want that to happen. Another thing is you have to select a region of interest. Where is, let me just search. It is here. So location selection, we have already outlined it here. So the thing that you have to do is, once we have assigned you a theme and you have selected a topic within the theme, you have to select 3 locations that you're going to do the analysis at. Say you are doing land use classification, for example. So you could do that at 3, you can select that 3 locations based on the data availability, and we own the right to select which locations you should choose. The reason we are doing it, we want to remove the bias of someone having done the project earlier. So make sure to select the location. All of this will be explained in more detail at the end of these sessions, at the end, which is 4:30 at 5 o'clock when you start your hackathon. So this is a precursor to all of that, so that you just get an idea that information is available here. All right, so that is all from my end. And if you have any questions, just reach out, ping me, message me anywhere, or any of the other moderators. And to point out, there are 5 moderators. One is Sai Charan. I think I can open the Slack channel, and so I've tagged everyone who is the moderator here. You can ask any of them for help on Slack channel. And the reason we are using Slack is because from tomorrow onwards, we'll have a session at 11 o'clock. Not a session, but just a pulse check to see where you guys are and if you need any help. And the call will be on this Slack channel. So if you go here, I can click, say, Mira Saraha, and I can just click on the huddle and we can have a call. So similarly, I think we can have discussion if you guys want to tomorrow, if you are stuck or want any help. So this is the place we'll have discussions. So if any of the team members is not here, please add them.